Life Fellowship has challenged me to study, read, and live the Bible.
And I asked the Lord if He would give me a church where I could be fed the right way, and He did.
My name is Linda Snowden, and I attend New Life Fellowship, where you get the Word.
What I like about my church is the way it makes me feel.
And we're really blessed that God has led us to new life.
From the moment my husband and I first walked through the doors, we just knew immediately that New Life Fellowship was going to be our church home. Everyone was so friendly, and the worship services were authentic as well as creative.
We just feel blessed to be members of New Life Fellowship because, you know, they don't just say the words Acts 2, they act it out.
To define an Acts 2 church, to me it's one that exemplifies selflessness. And New Life Fellowship does that. When situations come up, illness, sickness, somebody just needs something, and they speak up and let us know, the church goes into action.
We have experienced a lot of things since we've been members at New Life Fellowship. They've always been there for us. We felt really, really loved. We were so well cared for.
We called ourselves New Life Fellowship because we want people to know you give your life to Christ, that results in new life. And we want you to become a part of this fellowship of the family of God. It's in this fellowship that relationships happen, authentic relationships where people get a chance to see what true life-on-life interaction among God's people is like. It's in the fellowship of the family of God that needs are met, prayer happens. It's in the fellowship of the family of God that when you're going through something and you're struggling, you don't need a building, you don't need a doctrine, you don't need a group of rules and regulation. You need a touch, you need a shoulder, you need somebody that you can connect with. We recognize that people are far from God, that there are a growing group of people who have not grown up with a church experience or a church background. And our church has the specific purpose of ministering to the needs of those who are already saved, but being very strategic and intentional about reaching out to those who don't know Christ.
We feel like, man, if we can get kids on fire for Jesus Christ, that could be the catalyst that's needed for their parents to recommit their lives or to commit their lives for the first time.
What excites me the most about New Life Fellowship is our growth. And I'm not speaking about our growth in membership, but I'm talking about our spiritual growth and the journey that we're all embarking on. I'd say the biggest challenge for our church is our lack of space. Currently we meet at the YMCA, which means that we are dictated by their hours of operation. And so we have to set up at a certain time, we have to break down and be out of the Y at a certain time. And so basically that's restricting us in our ministry area and how long we can have service as well as what types of ministry we can do.
We've probably tripled in size. And we're now getting to a point where we are like bursting at the seams. So we're very excited about the possibility of a new building. Our volunteers go in, sometimes on Saturday night, on Sunday mornings, as soon as the doors open, and set our ministry up. And then as soon as church is over, everything is broken down and taken out, only to be reset up the following week.
We're on an incredible journey, and Jackie and I are so excited that you're on this journey with us. 4 years ago, God called us to start this ministry, and though we've been limited by space, we've seen God do an incredible work in the life of this church. We've seen people come to faith in Christ. We've seen men and women have fellowship and retreats. our Sunday morning is exploding with children and youth. And God has even given us the opportunity to minister in our communities through our Adopt a School program, and we've had the privilege of even ministering beyond our country in Africa. And as exciting as the past has been, just imagine what our future will look like when we have our own building. Just imagine what it will look like to have more children and more youth on Sunday morning, to have an after-school program, and to continue to see what God will do to expand the vision of this church. But in order to make that dream a reality, God has called, He has led us to embark upon a capital campaign, which we're calling a step of faith.
A capital campaign involves two things. It involves, number one, faith, and the other thing is it involves finance. And it's really an opportunity to raise money for building buildings, but what we really want to do is beyond build buildings, we want to build people. Yeah, there's money involved, but it's all about ministry. It's about new children's ministry. It's about an expanded youth ministry. It's about working with adults. It's about working in the community. That's what a capital campaign's about. We want it to be about changing lives. We want our campus to be a campus of hope.
God blessed us to purchase 14 acres of land. Our master plan, as we have designed it, will have a state-of-the-art worship center that will seat about 2,000 people, a youth facility, our children's facility, a gymnasium. And so we're excited that what we're designing is a campus that can be used for multiple activities. Phase one of that campus will be our multi-purpose facility.
The capital campaign is going to require sacrificial giving. And when I say sacrificial giving, what I mean is giving beyond the tithe. And when I think about the tithe, you typically think about 10%, but we really want beyond that. And when I say tithe, we're not just tithing money. We're tithing our talents, our treasures, our gifts, our thoughts. We really want to give all that back to the church. So we're really going to be asking people to dig deeper.
Well, I believe that our family will prepare for the capital campaign by sitting down and actually having a meeting, a family meeting. We're going to discuss with the children what is going on so that they understand fully the reasons why we're going to be better stewards in order to be able to help out the campaign more.
We're inviting you to join us in this incredible spiritual journey. And that's what we believe this is, a journey. For a capital campaign, it's not a building fund, it's not just a fundraiser, but it's where God takes us to a whole new level in our walk, and our fasting, and our prayer, and our dependency upon Him. That's why we're calling this a step of faith, because we know God is going to stretch us out of our comfort zone. But we believe it's when He does that we get to see Him at a whole new level. And we believe most of all, what God is going to challenge us to do is evaluate what does it mean to be a good steward of what He has entrusted into our hands.
In one of my favorite passages, Paul is encouraging us to be joyful always, to pray continually, and to give thanks in all circumstances. And as we take this step of faith together, I'm trusting that we will experience God's abundant joy, and that our prayer time will increase, and we'll pray daily for God to use us and use our church in mighty new ways, and that regardless of the circumstances we experience, that we'll have thankful hearts. We know that God will be honored by this because this is His will for us.
We understand that a capital campaign is going to call us to make sacrificial giving. It's going to call us to commit at a whole nother level. And we understand that in order to do that, we're going to have to say, God, I'm going to depend on You even more. But I believe Malachi 3 says, trust me. God says, test me. He says, and see if I will not pour out a blessing that you can't even contain. And that's what it means to go through this capital campaign. It's trusting God, it's testing Him, and it's saying, God, pour out this blessing. But you know what, church? I believe when we do that, we're positioning ourselves in a whole new level to see what God will do in the future of our ministry. Why? All for His glory.